Yeah, hi everyone. Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It's Sunday, September 8th. And just coming off a short week here, let's take a look at the week that was, and also let's take a look ahead, see what we got coming down the pipe here for next week. So you can see here Friday we had kind of a choppy day, Dow up a little bit, NASDAQ down a little bit, SPY essentially flat on the day, but that came off two other days, Wednesday, Thursday, of pretty strong gains, so kind of buyers and sellers took a bit of a break, I guess, on Friday. But then you can see the internals here were pretty much 50-50. Stocks above and below their 50 and 200-day simple moving averages. So kind of almost a directionless internals, really. Let's take a look at the groups and just see what was performing. So you can see here conglomerates took a bit of a hit last week. Some of the safety trades, utilities, healthcare, consumer goods not performing as well as some of the others, industrial goods, financials up on the week. I think that was because partly we had a bit of a rebound in the yield, so on the 10-year, so maybe some positive news for the financials. Again, the month, utilities, consumer goods still up there as safety trades, showing a lot of interest from buyers. So okay, let's take a look at some of the indexes. Some of the indexes we follow. Here's the 10-year yield. The weekly, you can see here we had an outside reversal week, so maybe we're going to get a bit of a bounce here. Certainly really oversold on the 10-year yield. And like I said, I don't really think this is going to come ripping back up. Probably a bit of a dead cat bounce maybe, but indications are interest rates are going to stay low and going to probably head lower if the economic conditions continue to show some weakness and it starts to spill over into the US, which some of the economic data that came out last week seemed to indicate that the US is also starting to slow down. And with all this talk about recession, it's almost like we can talk ourselves into a recession if the discussions keep going that direction. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But we'd keep interest rates on the low end. And about 30% of the global economies have negative interest rates now. So, and I know, people are asking if the U.S. is going to go there too. Who knows? So, let's take a look at the Dow. You can see here we're right back up at prior levels of resistance. This is obviously the high where we had a failed breakout. We'll see if we can push higher next week. Yeah, I think buyers want to try to challenge this level again. This will be a level of pretty significant resistance, but we may get there next week. It's my inclination. You can see here how volumes are really kind of dropping off. Mind you, this was a shortened week last week, but you can see the trend has been the volume trend has been actually down. So let's take a look at the small caps, the IWM. You can see here, as I've mentioned numerous times, this index has really not performed as well as some of the other indexes. Never really got even close back up to the high that it made back here in August. And it's really just been chopping sort of in this range here, 145 to 160-ish level. And this week was not a particularly constructive week. You can see here we tried to get above the 50 and failed. So I'm expecting the IWM to continue to be challenged to try to push higher here. Maybe a different story for the Qs. You can see technology. We're right back. We've pushed through this prior level of resistance, and we're probably next week. I'm going to say good chance we're going to go and challenge this 195.80 level here again. And yeah. But same story, volumes really kind of dropping off, maybe a lack of buying conviction, but also lack of sellers as well, excuse me. Let's take a look at the SPY. Again, same story, dropping volume, but pushing higher, challenging, gone through this prior level of resistance and probably heading back to challenge this 3,000 level next week. The dollar really took a hit last week, and you can see here it's kind of found a level of support. I suspect that it may bounce back a little bit here next week, and dollar will probably continue to be the currency that most people want to be in. VIX, again, with all the markets going higher, I think is going to continue to go lower here. We could come back down, test this. I doubt we're going to test the 12 level again. We may get back down to 13, but could be a good point to take an entry. So we'll keep an eye on the VIX for a possible flush here, and then an entry position. What we've got on watch, some of the other stocks I got on watch here. Baba, again, challenge this level for the fourth time. This one sort of, what is it? Sort of 179 level. If we can get through that, get through the 180 level, we actually could end up pushing up to 185. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to set an alert for 180. If we hit there, we could easily push higher. So we'll be watching that one for sure. KBH Homes was something I was watching. I was looking for a pullback. I was away when the pullback happened. Unfortunately, I was on vacation, so I missed the entry on that one. But that was a nice trade to get in on a pullback. Chinese internets, again, it looks like they want to go higher, but they're at a level of resistance here. So again, maybe something to set an alert for if it gets above 44. Nugget tried to take an entry on Nugget last week for a reversal, didn't work out. So on Friday, so I'm going to be watching it here for a reversal. I think it could bounce off the 50. Again, that's something I'm going to be watching for on Monday to see if we can get a bit of a bounce on this thing. PayPal rejected from the 50 moving average on Friday. Really didn't have a very good day, even though the NASDAQ was kind of flat. So we may end up just getting choppy with PayPal. Don't really see any opportunity there. Roku still looking strong. So yeah, Roku looks like it even wants to break higher here, even after this big run up, gap up here on earnings, and just a monster move higher. Really oversold here, but it could stay that way for quite a while yet. Volume again pretty light on Friday. Silver, same as gold, big pullback. You can see here, up here, testing the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. Had a big 2-day drop here, and I would be looking for a bit of a bounce and maybe some consolidation here, but we're definitely pulled back here. Big volume day on Friday as well. Lots of people getting out of the trade, but I'd be looking for a bounce at some point here. Square just really not performing well at all, even though PayPal has been doing a little better. And you can see here down date on Friday, again rejecting this 64 level. So I'd look for continued weakness on Square. Possibly sell some puts at 60 or sell some calls at 64. Looks like UNG maybe wants to go higher. This is the natural gas. Always looking at price of natural gas. Sometimes a good play. It's had a nice big run up here, but maybe due for a bit of a pullback right up in this area. Prior support comes resistance. Gap down level here. Could do a little gap fill here, but it looks like it's kind of maybe running out of steam. Good for your pullback. Oil just looks choppy here. I don't know what's going on. You can see the moving averages have come together, and it doesn't look like it's making one direction or another right now. So moving in one direction. So we may just be stuck in a range on oil. And that's about it. So yeah, we'll see how things unfold next week. We got a few things to look at, a few things to put on alert and watch. So if you're interested in swing trading, this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. You can check it out. And we'll see everyone in the Bear Bull trading room in the morning if you're going to join us there. Have a great rest of the evening, everybody, Sunday evening, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.